This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And good Saturday morning to all of you out there, and welcome to another installment of 757 Sports Talk, powered by Contender TV. With Coach Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield. As the Final Four's in the books, national champs crowned to the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines on the men's side, following up the women's UCLA Bruins, getting the trophy, 3 straight national championships in college football as well for the Big Ten, as they had the Ohio State Buckeyes following up Michigan's national title, and of course this past year, Curt Cignetti's Indiana Hoosiers. Good morning, Edward, and welcome. It is the Big Ten's world, and we're just all living in it.
Good morning. Good morning to Coach greets all. Not very exciting championship game. Michigan pretty much had their way. I mean, what else can be said? They played great. And UConn's magic, so to speak, ran out. So congrats to the Wolverines. And now begins the chase in the portal.
Yeah, the portal's already open, and all kinds of players are moving and grooving. In fact, J.P. Estrella leaving Tennessee to join Michigan's roster, which had 5 starting transfers. I guess you could say 5, really 4, not so much 5, because you look at Namari Burnett had been there. Nonetheless, though, all kinds of moving and grooving with players everywhere. And, of course, Elliot Cadeau, the most outstanding player from the Final Four, he is coming back. He's the one that had the big game, 19 points. Really, Merez Johnson was the guy that kept them going in the first half. They had a underwhelming start to the game. They didn't shoot well at all in this game, Ed. I mean, the people – what gets me is – and, again, full marks, credit, whatever you want to give it to UConn. The run they had with Danny Hurley to get to 3 national championships in 4 years is incredible. But I love the folks out there on all the different networks and TV and so forth that say, if UConn had just made some shots, they'd have won the game. Well, if Michigan just made some shots, they'd have won the game by 15 plus, because they shot miserably in this basketball game. Now, they did hold Alabama, Tennessee, Arizona, and UConn all to season lows in terms of field goal shooting percentages. So it was the defensive versatility to be able to switch and guard inside and out that I thought set Michigan apart during this title run. But they shot a season low 38.2% from the floor, had only 7 assists. They were 0 of 16 to begin the game from outside the painted area, and they were just gosh awful from 3, 2 of 15 themselves.
Yeah, the 3-point line was not kind, really, to either team. Again, I like to come from a coaching perspective. It was, the defense, physical defense by both teams, running people off the 3-point line or whatever. But I'm not so sure that's 100% of why the shooting was so bad. Guys just missed shots. And it became, like I said, an ugly game. I thought it would be a lot better than what it turned out to be, and a little bit more high scoring. I thought it would also be.
Yeah, I mean, UConn's defense holds Michigan under 90, held them under 70. They'd scored 90 plus in each of their NCAA tournament victories until the national finals, including that bludgeoning of Arizona in the semis. And I'm happy for a couple of guys that have not so much 757 ties, but Virginia roots. And that's 2 of the assistants on Dusty May's staff, and Akeem Miskdeen, who used to be at Hampton University, got to know him fairly well. And he recruited players from VA, as well as Drew Williamson, who was a point guard for Blaine Taylor's Old Dominion Monarchs. He's beloved in ODU lore, part of that team with Alex Loughton, and I think Arnaud Dahi, Abdullah Dondi, some of the other guys on that team, Isaiah Hunter. And so he was part of runs before. And, of course, both guys were on Dusty's staff at Florida Atlantic when they went to the Final Four as well. So I'm happy for those guys as they end up getting a national championship. And Dusty May certainly making his mark as one of the premier coaches in the sport at this point. And I don't think they're going to slow down anytime soon, because Michigan has the resources, Ed. They have the wherewithal to keep this going and certainly continue on with great success at a high level.
Well, and two, what May did showed you was the era we're in, portal era. to grab kids out of there, but predominantly a starting team, and still have them mesh as one unit, which a lot of people thought with portal play and going in there and grabbing kids from all over the place, it's going to kill team chemistry. You're going to get kids who think they're the stud. They want everything run through them. Dusty kind of proved all that wrong. He got them to play at extremely high level to the point of national championship. And it wasn't just talented. Yes, that's a talented group, but I think it was tremendous way he got them to play together and to play unselfish in such a short period of time. Because most of the time in coaching, that's one of the biggest things you're trying to do with your team is to mesh them in terms of playing well together. Nobody cares who gets the credit. And they even mentioned that they weren't concerned who got the most points, who got the most interviews, whatever. It was do what it takes for this team to win at the highest level, which is national championship. High school would be a state championship, NBA, and trying to win an NBA title. And a lot of that has to do with playing your role, but not being concerned who's getting all the accolades. Because when a press comes to you to get goes on, they're going to interview usually the kids that have the most points. Maybe somebody made a big play, whatever. They're not going to go to a kid that scored maybe 4 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, drew 3 charges, had 5 assists. That kid kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But in coaching, we know that kid probably the main reason we won that game.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that you've come around on Dusty May, considering just a short couple of weeks ago, Ed was not sure he was better than Rick Barnes.
I like Rick Barnes. How about Rick Barnes? How come his name's not mentioned for Carolina? I know he's older.
Why?
He is a Carolina resident.
No.
He would be a good selection.
No.
But he will not
over Dusty May?
Oh, I take Rick Barnes over Dusty May. And
oh, no. What you are on drug test this guy. Drug test him.
Rick Barnes over Dusty May.
No way.
6 days a week. Easy.
No way. You are partial to your old heads. Dusty May is one of the best young up-and-coming rising coaches in the sport. You are off your rocker.
Put Dusty May with Tennessee. Does he do better than Rick Barnes?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
You're wrong. He took Florida Atlantic to the Final Four. Get your head out of the sand.
Right now, we're not talking about Florida Atlantic.
Right. Rick Barnes could not take Florida Atlantic to the Final Four.
At that same team he had? Absolutely.
No, he could not.
Absolutely.
By the way, need I remind you what happened when Rick Barnes' Tennessee team played FAU in the Sweet 16 a few years ago? Dusty May beat him as a big dog.
As Dan Bonner said, the coaches are not dressed and playing. It's the players got to come out and do the job.
Oh, stop it. You were slurping Rick Barnes out of a straw. He was going.
Now, that's not a good sight. I'm just saying that I take Rick Barnes and anybody out there that may be still watching, what would you take?
Oh, they're with me on Dusty May. Dusty May all day long. You need to watch Michigan a little closer, sir. Just because he hasn't been around for decades, like Rick Barnes.
You don't have to be. I will go take. I'll push Rick Barnes back to the same level Dusty May is right now.
You're almost talking like this analogy is John Shire, Rick Pitino. Well, that was just a few weeks ago, folks, and Ed might have missed that 95-62 butt whooping that Michigan handed the Vols from Knoxville back on March 29th. But congratulations to Dusty May and the Wolverines. I dusted Ed Young in the argument as usual. So
I have to amend my statement. I said,
do you really?
Yeah, I said I would take Rick Barnes 6 days a week over Dusty Mays. I would now drop that to 5 days a week.
Oh, you dropped. Okay, good to know you changed the number of days. Hey, by the way, in that thing you said, what about North Carolina? Well, North Carolina hired Michael Malone. This one came out of left field, right field. And by the way, I don't want to hear anybody that say, "Oh yeah, we thought he." Those people that are thinking that he was really in the mix are lying out of their teeth. His name was never mentioned. He was plus 1,000, maybe 10,000 on the odds to get that job. It was always Dusty May and Tommy Lloyd and Billy Donovan, and it sounds like they pivoted to Michael Malone once Billy Donovan was balking and had the cold feet or anything else. Wanted to wait till the Bulls' season was over, which I think it ended like 2.5 months ago. But There you go. And I know you like this hire. I personally like Mike Malone. I think he's a terrific coach. I think he got a raw deal in Denver. But I will tell you this. While I like the deal, and I think everybody acknowledges, or I like Mike Malone personally, I think everyone acknowledges it's going to be about the staff he builds, which, by the way, he's bringing Kim English from Providence as an assistant, and how they do things in terms of the general manager and resources and NIL in the portal. But I just think it's an odd fit. He hasn't coached college even longer than Billy Donovan. I'm curious to see how this all works. And they just brought in a pro coach in Bill Belichick, who didn't exactly set the world on fire. Now, Malone doesn't have the distraction of these young hotshot girlfriend. He's a married man. His daughter plays volleyball at UNC. I don't think he'll be distracted the way that Bill Belichick is. Doesn't have quite the cachet and a number of championships and success long-term that Belichick does either in his sport of football. But this one was a little bit of a head scratcher. And, my first gut, it's a home run hire. But the more I think about it, I don't know how this is going to play out. I think he's a guy that you root for. And I know Carolina's hoping he has success, but it's one of those, let's see how this plays out. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. He did come out of nowhere. I didn't hear his name mentioned. I wasn't even thinking in terms of Mike Malone, UNC. Now, once it happened, I understand UNC's thought process. It's probably, they were very high on Lloyd in May, but obviously when those guys did extensions, they weren't going to get them. And think about it. How can Dusty May win a national title at Michigan and 4 days later signed with UNC? I think he would be destroyed in the press and everywhere else. And right now, Michigan and maybe even Arizona are better off than UNC. So why are you – tradition, yes, we understand what UNC is all about in tradition. But late tradition, they haven't done anything. So I can see UNC's idea of, we're going to go professional, not only with our football program, but with basketball. Now, again, I told people that asked me about it, it depends on his staff. He's going to have to bring in, and you mentioned Kim English, great pick. Who he brings in, that's a little bit closer to the idea of the portal recruiting, because they still recruit high school kids at Carolina, but it's your 4+, 5-star type kid that you got to try to get involved with.
One and done caliber, correct.
Yeah, but and that's going to be a key. I don't know. Have you heard anybody else that he's bringing on? Or
I haven't looked at it in depth. We reached out to our buddy Andrew Jones about getting him on the show. I know he's a little busy with different things going on this weekend. And by the way, we're going to have some other special guests coming up in the days to come on 757 Sports Talk, including Shane Hollum on the NFL draft, as well as the head basketball coach of the national champions from Mary Washington in Marcus Kahn. So we've got more goodies in store, but it's a little bit like what Dan Bonner told us. Remember a few weeks back, we talked to him, Elite 8 weekend. It's not the job, that Carolina's always been. It's still a great job, but there's some questions about the arena, what's happened there with Belichick. It's like you just outlined. There's some things that make you pause if you're one of those bigger name coaches, marquee level coaches, such as a Billy Donovan, as a Dusty May, a Tommy Lloyd, however, a big name coach who didn't have a job, Mike Malone, found the right timing, and it was the itch to scratch. I don't know that he was, there was talk last summer about the Knicks bringing in Michael Malone. Remember when Mike Brown got the job after Tom Thibodeau got ousted following the team's Eastern Conference Finals appearance and defeat at the hands of the Indiana Pacers, but we shall see. We're going to talk some Masters and review how our picks did for that tournament, which looks like it's a one-sided affair. That's all coming your way. Don't touch that dial. More on the way here on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. You're watching with us here on Cova Sports TV. After this quick timeout, back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550 7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
That's right. Congratulations to Mary Washington. We mentioned our television portion of 757 Sports Talk, which you can check out all the time on Cox and Yearview, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Eastern on Tuesdays, and 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. That all but one guy on the team, Virginia flavor, tons of Northern Virginia, Prince William County kids, Ulysses Chubbs Young, and Anthony Lewis from Oscar Smith, and, of course, that game winner from Mr. Mitchell from Benedictine there. I think it was Colin Mitchell, but we'll talk with Marcus Kahn coming up next week on the program. Ed, it is now time, though, to turn our attention to the Masters picks that we had on our TV portion of the show. Folks missed it last week on our 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV, and that featured, as Ed pops out, we lost him for a second. It must be his Wi-Fi in his building, so we'll get him back in just a moment, unless he didn't want to talk golf. He was so upset about talking golf that he just said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. It's a runaway, folks. Rory McIlroy is just smoking the competition. And he literally birdied the last 3 holes in round 2. I believe it was 16, 17, 18. Actually, it was the last 4 holes he birdied. 15, 16, 17, 18. And he's got a commanding, comfortable lead. It would take an epic collapse choke job for him to not win this tournament and go back-to-back, which, by the way, has not been done since names like Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo. You put yourself in the pantheon of all-time great golfers and the elites of the elites there if you go back-to-back at the Masters. And he was not a trendy pick, not for us or the golf experts, because we're far from that. But you heard certainly the favorite was Scotty Scheffler. I took Bryson DeChambeau. Ed took Hideki Matsuyama. This was not a tournament where you said, all right, the pick is going to be a repeat with Rory McIlroy, but he just was on a mission in round 2. Did really well in round 1, and you liked his chances after round 1 when he shot 67, but 65 in round 2, and nobody shot better on the leaderboard than 67. So he was another 2 strokes clear of the field in that sense. Just easy as could be for Rory McIlroy. Those are my picks, by the way. DeChambeau didn't even make the cut. Terrible showing for him. Cam Young is still alive, although he's 8 strokes back of the leader of McIlroy. A lot of golfers doing well in this tournament. Patrick Reed, Sam Burns, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Shane Lowry, Wyndham Clark, Tyrell Hatton. All these guys -4 or better. Problem is McIlroy's at -12. It's like he's playing the video game on rookie mode. Everybody else is playing it on pro level. He's just having his way. So those were my picks. Ed's picks, as I mentioned, he had Hideki Matsuyama. His second pick was Scotty Scheffler and Justin Rose, who's done really well, by the way. That could happen. He could end up being in the 3rd place. He's tied for 4th with Fleetwood and Lowry. So, and I see it up there. They have it on one of the services. Whoops, we'll take it down. Rory McIlroy, as you'll see if I take the banner down here, it's over under 70.5 for his score in round 3. I imagine a lot of people are going to be saying under the way he's played. It's hard to envision him doing much worse. So yeah, impressive stuff for him in this Masters, as it looks like he's going to have the repeat, barring something totally unforeseen and shocking coming up today or on Sunday at Augusta National for the Masters. And it is an interesting year for the golf tournament because this Masters marks the first one in 32 years that there's no Tiger Woods, there's no Phil Mickelson competing. And family health matter for lefty Tiger Woods. We know about the well-documented latest DUI. And so it's sort of a changing of the guard in that sense that we don't expect to see those 2 names back in the mix again, given their certain health and age status. And that's where we are. Oh, nice to know that Ed Young's computer fired back up. That's what happens when you don't plug the thing in, sir. As you missed all my in-depth golf analysis and all my hard-hitting golf talk, which I know just you were dying. You're going to regret this the whole weekend. But your thoughts, as I showed it on the screen there for a second, the picks. You had Hideki Matsuyama, nowhere to be found on the leaderboard. I had Bryson DeChambeau. He didn't make the cut. Meanwhile, it is Rory McIlroy running away with it. 6 strokes clear. 8 strokes before we, get to 2:00 this afternoon of the rest of the field, as he is. He won it last year, but nobody talked about him. And I just mentioned it. You heard all these names about Scheffler or Matthew Fitzpatrick as a trendy pick, or Patrick Cantlay or Tommy Fleetwood, all different Cameron Young, your cousin, all these different names. And yet here we are where McIlroy, people are asking over under 70.5, which is a darn good score because he shot 67 and 65 in rounds 1 and 2, and is just smoking the competition. Has a chance to join the pantheon of greats with Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and the latest to go back-to-back, Tiger Woods. That's putting yourself in elite company if you pull it off, and he's well on his way.
Yeah, you and I talked about, could he win it back-to-back, and I think we both agreed it's kind of tough, so we didn't go with him. Just kind of scared ourselves on not going with somebody. I always think if you win it one time, why couldn't you win it again? Back-to-back is tough, but you already know the course. You played it well, and he's shown that. I mean, what's the highest score ever in the Masters after 36 holes? I think I saw that.
Amazing.
He's doing great. By the way, my pick from Japan, where is he? Is he even on the course? Did he leave? Did he make the cut?
Well, I told you DeChambeau did not make the cut.
I heard of that. That was your guy. Yeah.
And I was like a lot of people had him. He's even right now, tied for 16th. Your boy Matsuyama.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
He's -2 for the tournament. even. Well, he hadn't started round 3 yet, but he's -2, I should say. Excuse me.
Well, I had Scheffler to what place in Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, your second and third picks are not out of the realm. They have a chance.
They're not going to win it, but they're right there. So golf is not my forte. As I said, I've tried it a couple of times. I cut more grass than hit the ball, and I was able to hit the house. Somebody built a house on the course. I hit the house twice, so I can hit the big objects. I just can't find that small hole that the ball's supposed to go into.
Yeah, it's not easy. It looks a lot easier than it really is. That's for sure.
How people play golf for relaxation, I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
It's just frustrating to you, huh?
It's too frustrating. I mean, yes, you have to work at it like anything else, but it's not, like you said, it's not as easy as people think. First shot I ever took, the tee went further than the ball.
You strike me as a miniature golf guy, though. Putt or
I kill miniature golf. Putt miniature golf. That's my stuff, they say.
Your stuff. How many hole-in-ones did you get on miniature golf?
In my career?
Yeah.
11.
11? Oh, I got you beat. Easy.
Well, I don't play the courses you play. You play where the 3-year-olds go into. I'm talking about professional mini golf.
I was the guy that would try to run before the 3-year-old got set up. That was me.
Oh, yeah. You knock kids out of the way. Seen it. You push kids out of the way so you get to go first. I've seen it.
Yeah. We're going to play in just a little bit Pretender or Contender on some teams with the NBA playoffs looming coming up. Did you – and I know you watched some baseball the last couple days. I know you got into it. So as a New York Yankees fan, like I know you are you happy? Are you dissatisfied? You know, the pitching was great. Cam Schlittler got off to an amazing start. And the bats have been relatively quiet, though.
You know, I'm not going to get excited about April baseball. It's a long season, 162 games. Okay. And you know, whoever wins 100 games during the season is going to lose 62 games. Okay. So I'm going to remain calm. They got enough hitting that they got to start showing it. Got to hope the pitching continues to hold. That's always the big worry. Hitting will happen for any team. I think the hitting is going to happen. But with the Yankees, you know, I think Judge always gets off to a bad start. So, you know, I'm not overly excited or upset like some of the Yankee fans are. Get rid of Boone already has been put out there that he doesn't know what he's doing, and Boone is going nowhere. Brian Cashman is going nowhere. You know, but on a side note, I kind of like seeing the Pirates. Remember, Pirates are usually out of the playoffs by May 1st, if not sooner. They may be a wild card contender this year. Got the young kid who they signed to an extension, a 9-year extension. Connor Griffin, the shortstop. That was pretty decent to get him under contract. Now, what about Skeens? I would go after trying to sign Skeens. That's the guy everybody wants, including my Yankees. Get him situated. But I thought giving a big contract to a now 20-year-old, 9-year contract, and really hats off to Griffin for signing that, because if he continues on the path that he is and how good he is, his contract's going to be – they're going to have to tear that contract up and give him more money. He's going to be more valuable than what he signed for right now, probably in 5-6 years.
We're having some trouble with our comments yet again on the YouTube channel. What's new? You can always try to interact with us through Facebook, YouTube, IG, LinkedIn, all the different platforms that we're on. But I did get a couple of mailbag questions that we're going to solicit again. You can always send us the questions through the email at hatfieldsports@gmail.com. We did get one from our buddy Paul in Tucson. He wants to know what you thought about this. Go ahead.
What do you make of the Arizona Diamondbacks rallying from 4-0 down in Philly with 5 runs in the 5th to beat the Phillies on Friday? What do I make of it? April baseball. Strange things happen. Bad teams can rally from behind and win games against better teams. And that's what Arizona just did. Arizona's not better than Philadelphia. That's not happening.
Wow.
But, you know.
Okay.
And I've told you, your Diamondbacks have a tremendous hitting lineup. It's their pitching that will be their downfall.
Okay. If you say so. If you say so. But I beg to differ.
Well, you should be optimistic about your team. I'm optimistic that the Yankees will make it as a wild. I don't see Yankees winning the division. Said that last year, said it again this year. But wild card, that's an expectation at the very least.
Yeah, that's true. Well, again, you're always encouraged to try to reach out to us if you can. We know it's difficult through the current setup because we're not having the ability to have people interact at the moment through the YouTube. So we'll try to get that troubleshooted and fixed as we move along. But we'll take another quick timeout. We've got the Pretender or Contender segment coming your way in just a bit. And Ed might tell us where he's at and his undisclosed location, what he's up to on this particular weekend, post-Easter weekend, on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. You're watching with us on Cova Sports TV, and we'll rejoin you in just a moment.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We've got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us wherever you are if you're able to do so on this particular Saturday morning, abbreviated episode of the show, because Edward is actually on the go today. You are in the Commonwealth, but you're not in the 757, are you?
No, I am in the beautiful metropolis of Winchester, Virginia. Apple country, I think it's
It is. You have the apple blossom up there, which is a big deal for those who don't know that. And I saw who the speaker was, and I forgot who it was going to be this year for the apple blossom. It's a big festival event up there. So you're not at Coachella in California, huh?
No, that's not on my list of places to go.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, I'm not over there. We have the BCAV, Basketball Association of Virginia, All-Star Weekend here at Shenandoah University. We had 3-point shootout, slam dunk contest last night.
Who won those?
I wish I could tell you because I don't have the names.
How are you there and you don't have the names of who won the contest? What are you doing up there? Are you just hobnobbing?
The runner who was supposed to bring the names to me,
the runner,
put it out there. Yeah, we had some people helping. The dude was running around. I think he's one of the managers for Shenandoah. Nick Doyle, formerly assistant at Virginia Wesleyan, head coach. I didn't see Nick last night. My ventures to get here, and it's always an adventure, it took longer than I thought. I got a later starter than I should have, which had to do with finding the sitter for the doggy, and that's a whole nother story. Traffic, unbelievable. I could have picked my car up and ran with it faster than I could have moved on 95, but it's a Friday.
You should know this. It's a Friday. You should.
Yes, I get it. But remember now, it started an hour later than what I was supposed to for another reason why that I had nothing to do with me, and I'll leave it at that. And I got there in the middle of the 3-point shootout. The slam dunk was over. And, of course, I'm running around talking to different coaches. Chad Edwards, the executive director. Zach Harrell, the president of the association, is running things. And a dude who knows you very well, Josh Kirby.
Yes.
Josh Kirby came over and became an instant host. And your name came up an awful lot. Not only Josh Kirby, a couple other people wanted to know. I guess when they see me, they want to know where Hatfield is. When they see Hatfield, where's Young? I guess the podcast has put us in that level. And I said, look, I work with Hatfield. He's not my brother. We're not attached. I said, he has his life. I have mine.
Mm-hmm. Here's you and Josh Kirby, by the way. Kirby on Sports Podcast. He was up at the Siegel Center as well. And I told Josh, I don't know if Josh relayed the message to you, but when I was sent that image, I said, tell that guy on the left that he's wanted by 3 prisons in our state, maybe 4. We're still checking on that 4th one. So
Josh is a good dude. I remember seeing him up at Richmond, but I don't remember him. But we talked at length last night. Okay. And he does a podcast too. And he was doing the announcing for the 3-point contest last night and that. And, but we'll get those names. In fact, there's going to be an awards banquet tonight with the BCAB Mr. and Miss Basketball of Virginia, all state and all that. So we'll have that information. And what we put out there, it is the official all state Mr. Miss Basketball and all that too. Other people pick them, but this one will be the official because it's voted on by the coaches, and the membership has gone really, really high in the state. The membership is really like 200% more than what it was last year. So we're excited about that. Still got to get some more people on board.
Are you reading that ticker?
I'm looking at it right now. All the starters for the Thunder Nuggets were ruled out. I did hear last night. There it is.
68 players, 14 members of the Grizzlies on Friday night.
How do you hold out? First of all, if I'm not mistaken, in the NBA, you have 12 on the active roster. You have to have at least 8 to start a game. Now, they have under contract, I think all the teams have 15 guys. Some are on two-way, G League, whatever. So how in the world do you hold out 14 guys? That's your entire legal roster minus 1. So now you have to go sign 7 other guys to play one game. If that doesn't continue to show you how ridiculous the NBA has become in terms of tanking, I mean, that's exactly what it is. Because the Jazz.
Well, hold on now. It's worse though. We have contending teams now. The Denver Nuggets held out its entire starting five against Oklahoma City, the team with the best record in the league, and they still won comfortably because OKC's roster had a bunch of no-namers. And then here's another one for you. So you have jockeying for that 3, 4, 5. I mean, you have a lot of jockeying for different spots. The Eastern Conference, can they get the 6 or 7? You have the Sixers, the Hawks. The West, you had the Blazers and Clippers played a competitive game that mattered, and Portland won it, trying to get the home court for that play-in. But you have Denver, Houston, and the Lakers all battling for 3, 4, 5, right? And, of course, you have the Lakers with the injuries with Luka and Austin Reeves. But Houston's playing Minnesota last night at home. And the Rockets had won, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, 8 in a row, whatever it was at home and in general. And they had a 10-point second quarter or third quarter lead. I think it might have been second quarter lead. And as that news is trickling out that Denver's going to win, which guarantees them the 3 or the 4, no worse than it, it felt like, based on Houston shooting 4 of 19 from behind the arc, 4 of 19 from 3, NBA guys today now, come on, where defense is optional and you can't miss. It felt like, I know this is a very damning thing to say, but that the Rockets didn't care to win that game at home against the Timberwolves. Almost as if they were going to throw it. And by the way, there's all these games are being played at the same time, Sunday night, 6 o'clock and 8:30 Eastern, not during the day or afternoon. You know why? They're going to go head up with the Masters, which it shouldn't matter because the Masters is a runaway with Rory McIlroy just smoking the field. But there's going to be a lot of shenanigans. And Cleveland, by the way, they beat the Hawks the other night. You knew they didn't want to beat the Hawks. And, by the way, next week he is confirmed to come on with us. At least he told me. Bob Rathbun, Atlanta Hawks play voice, wants to come on next week. He's actually in flight to Miami as we speak. So he could not come on now. He's departing from Miami. Not departing. He's departing from Miami. There's another blooper for the show. He's departing from Miami because they have a game tomorrow with the Heat. So, but he did say, how about next week? Does want to come on and chat NBA Plus with us because the Hawks should be a top 6, not a play-in team. Remember, he was in town last year for the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, which is going to be up in Richmond this year in a couple weekends. Boo Williams among the many distinguished recipients to the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. But, I'm like you. I shake my head at what's going on in the National Basketball Association. It's not good. It makes you kind of queasy, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, they have rules for this because you talk about, which now is much more prevalent than ever, legalized gambling. And, what happened with Terry Rozier, who I think just got cut by the Heat, who got suspended in October about gambling, is not tanking gambling in a way, messing with gambling.
But you led me to what I was getting to. Do you think it's past with all these guys that are, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, these guys that are fringe players, not making the big dollars. You think that some of these obscure names that you could have a couple of shady characters corner them, and they can, it's a lot easier to fix a game by missing intentionally than making it, as we found out with baseball, with Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, the 2 Guardians pitchers who were throwing balls, not strikes, and they got caught. But you can remember, Porter's brother, John Tay, Michael Porter's brother, John Tay, missing shots. I hate to say that, but, you had a game, like you mentioned, that Grizzlies game with Utah. They're both trying to lose to get a better pick for the lottery. This is a problem. I know it's a problem with all sports. They're going to say, what about pro football? Week 18, when playoff seeds are locked up. I get it. It's a problem there, too. But it just seems to be like basketball. It's a bigger issue. It's a bigger problem, and it's getting worse, not better. And I don't know what Adam Silver is going to do to correct this.
See, I can get you if let's say you got a playoff spot secure and you want to rest some players. We don't want to play them a lot, possible injury.
It's becoming a farce, though.
Yeah, but it is out of hand. Mm-hmm. And I think when you get to the pro level, when you got people paying big money for tickets,
and
you set guys out, it's a little different than maybe college and high school because the pro guys have that name to them. I go to Charlotte and here comes the Lakers. Oh, good. I get to see LeBron play and Luka. And then the day of, it's stated that LeBron and Luka were being held out. They might not even make the trip with them. Now, you do understand, people understand those Charlotte Hornet tickets for the Laker game go up in price. They're not the same price if they were playing the Memphis Grizzlies. So now you paid that. You got a hotel room secured. Everything's straight. It's a lot of money you just put out. And those guys that you really wanted to see aren't playing.
I mean, imagine you pay your money. You got a hotel room for the BCAV All-Star game. What if those kids didn't show up for the All-Star game? You'd be mad, wouldn't you? Oh, wait.
Well,
they're there, right? All the kids are there, right? Wait. We don't know if they're there or not because Ed doesn't have the names of the winners. We can't tell you if they're there or not. You don't have the names of the winners.
No, there's some kids that were supposed to come. We talked last night that are not coming. I didn't get the names who's not coming, but
no shows.
Yeah, and it does surprise me because in high school All-Star games, this happens a lot, which kids say they're coming. They get excited that they got named. And then
we just saw it with the Mario's. I'm wearing my Mario Mullen Invitational shirt. Shout out to the crew there. But you're right. It does happen more than,
But the professional level, I think because of that level and the money involved, it is a little bit different. It's Adam Silver got to do something. NBA already has a little bit of a cloud hanging over it. And the Players Association is the strongest of the major professional sports. Players run that league. And for them to put stuff in there that is going to fix it, you got to hope that the Players Association ratifies it because they may not.
Oh, we got one of the comments working, so they don't either got fixed or somebody figured out how to do it. Do you think all the rule changes since 1970 have helped or hurt sports? 3-point shot, 24-second college shot clock, batter and pitcher challenge. Well, helped or hurt, I'd say it's a little bit of both. And I hate to have the cop-out answer to this, and Ed can follow up, but I feel like it depends on what sport and what situation. I think this personal new ABS thing for baseball, I hate it. I hate it. I know we're about getting rules right, but it's slowing down the game to a crawl. And remember, we talked about how the new pitch clock was helping accelerate the game and make it. Now every ball and strike, it makes these umpires, it shows them up, all the missed calls they get, which are a lot more than we thought. And then when you get an out, it feels like you got momentum. It actually helped my team the other day. D-backs were playing the Mets. The Mets thought they had strike 3. They extended the at bat, and then boom, Arizona strikes, takes the lead, and end up losing that game, although they won 2-3 in New York. But I just don't like the flow of it, and it's too much. How many challenges do you get now? Basketball's got the same deal. They're challenging everything. I think it was designed and intended to help sports, and I think in some respect it's hurting it. And then the shot clock, I mean, I can go either or on that. I don't think it's hurting college or pro game. Pro game, though, I'll be honest with you. I've said this from day one, Ed. I think we have too many threes being shot. It has become a 3-point contest. Can you make the 3 and guard the 3? It's all about the 3.
True. The nature of basketball as a whole, the 3-point has become more dominant than the big man inside, back to the basket, throw it inside to the big man. They've kind of gotten away a little bit from that. Though I do think a lot of teams have brought that back. It's just we're not giving it any credence like we go on the 3-point shot. I like the 3-point shot in the all the levels. It does give the little guy a little bit better chance to show his worth, but the big guys can shoot threes too. So I don't mind that. 24-second clock, which was in the NBA. I always thought that was too short a time because they just fired up shots left and right. I don't mind the shot clock in college. We don't have one officially for high school. I don't think I know you're a proponent for it. I'm not against it. I don't think.
Time out. I'm a proponent for it if we can show data that proves it. I don't think it's a need. I think it's a want. Just like you always have the statement of needs and wants, that you need certain things. And I tell you want certain things because I haven't seen statistical evidence or numbers in front of me that supports the argument one way or the other. I have argued we should do a summer where it shows the play with a shot clock and without it. And if the efficiency or pace of play or if there's any metrics that support it, then we should go for it. But I don't think it's something we have to have. I am a realist that understands it's coming, and all you old school minds that are against it, need to at least accept that it's going to probably come one way or the other, because we have too many people screaming from the mountaintops saying that they're going to like die and perish from the earth or no longer have oxygen if they don't have it, which is, that's, excessive and overboard. But that's where I am with it. But and we could just continue this discussion for another time when you have more time, because you have to rush on over there to the arena. Before we let you go, though, and we end this abbreviated episode of 757 Sports Talk, you ready to play some pretender or contender on 8 NBA teams as the playoffs loom here?
Let's do this.
All right. We know that some teams are, it goes without question. We know that the Sacramento Kings are not a contender. We know that the Memphis Grizzlies and Utah Jazz and Washington Wizards are not contenders. And we know that the defending NBA champions from the last 2 years, Oklahoma City and Boston Celtics, are contenders. So we'll go with some teams that are in the between there. Here we go. Contender or pretender, Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. The collapsed lung of one Cade Cunningham. He's back, though, and the Pistons have the number 1 seed. Are they a true contender? Do you have faith in Coach J.B. Bickerstaff, or is a team that lost in the first round a year ago set up for more frustration and early playoff failure, and they will fail to reach the conference finals, and you'd say they're more of a pretender than a contender with that home court advantage in the East?
Contender.
Contender? You really think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Legit. I mean, they have the best record. Of course, they need to keep Cade Cunningham healthy. He needs to be in that lineup. They're not an easy win for anybody. Now, will they win the NBA title? Will they even get the championship? If I had to put money or shekels on it, no. But they are definitely a contender.
Okay. Remember what I just said moments ago about the three-point shooting and what a big deal it is in the NBA? Now, the Pistons lead the NBA in 2 crucial categories: steals per game and blocks per game. And that matters, folks. It really does. But here's what I am concerned about for the Detroit Pistons. I'm concerned about this for the Pistons. They're 19th in the NBA in three-point percentage, and they take the second fewest threes per game. Only Sacramento takes fewer threes per game. And I think they're going to be more of a contender next year. But to me, they got to win a playoff series first. They have to win at least one before I can label them a contender. And you can argue they should have won that series last year with the Knicks. They gave away a couple of games, won a couple of games in the Garden, MSG. But I'm going to say they're more of a contender, even with the 1 seed, even with Cade Cunningham back for them. All right, a team that I labeled is going to win the West a week ago before Wembanyama's ribs issue, his injury, the San Antonio Spurs. Pretender or contender? Based on what I just said, you're going to say, well, Matt, you have them as a pretender because you said they got to advance in the playoffs, right?
Well, regardless of what you say, no question they are a contender.
Regardless of what I just said.
Regardless, they are.
Well, I cancel it out because the Spurs, to me, and you can say, hold on now, we just use your argument about the threes. They're a little bit better than the Pistons, 15th in that category, but they have an alien. And that alien is Victor Wembanyama. And they have a point guard, by the way, who has been in the playoff wars before, got derailed in Sacramento, and De'Aaron Fox. I think he's going to matter. Keldon Johnson, by the way, who starred for Boo Williams, part of that team, in the mix for, I think, 6th man of the year. But they're 3rd in the league in points per game, 2nd in the sport in rebounds per game. If you can rebound and you can run and you can score, you can win. I think the Spurs are a contender. But I do say now with Wemby's injury, I'm leaning back a little bit more towards the Thunder as the favorite. I do think the Spurs are a definite contender. They match up well with OKC, and I see championships in their future, whether it happens this season or in the years to come. Definitely have to like them as a contender. The one concern for me, though, is their coach, Mitch Johnson. This isn't Greg Popovich. He's never been there in a big spot before, so he would worry me a little bit. But I am going to say contender. I make an exception here with the Spurs compared to what I just said. I know you're going to say you contradict yourself. What are you doing here? Well, it's my game. It's how I do this, so that's how we work.
Hatfield sets the rules.
That's right.
And he sets it to make himself look good. That's why I don't go. I noticed I'd not really say anything. Well, wait a minute. You just said Detroit. No, let it go. It's okay. Let him roll. Spurs will go a little further than Detroit, though, I think.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler ain't walking through that door. I know they have Kevin Durant, but he's an aging Kevin Durant, and I can't see him winning 3 series or even multiple series. I think at the most they win 1 series if they are matched up with the Lakers. Houston Rockets, they don't have that point guard. They badly miss Fred VanVleet because I'm sorry, Reed Shepherd's a nice little player, but he's a nice little player. He's not winning you multiple playoff series at the point. And Sengun is valuable on the inside. Jabari Smith, they have talent on this team, but I mentioned it. 3-point shooting was god-awful against the Wolves, 4 of 19, and they're in the bottom 3 in 3-point field goals attempted. So I say they are a definite pretender, not a contender. If Kevin Durant was 5 or 6 years younger, I might say more of a contender. And they had VanVleet at the point, who was on that Raptors team that won a title, but they don't have him. They need a point guard. It's going to show in a big way. Now, Amen Thompson, by the way, is one of the best young players who's a breakout guy and he can take over a series with the Lakers potentially, but that's where the buck stops there and it ends. They're not beating OKC in the second round. Not happening.
Yeah, I would say pretender for the Rockets, pretty much on what you're saying. I like to think that they can win a first round. Right now, who are they matched up with?
Lakers 4-5 game. That's because Denver's got the inside track to get to 3. Yeah,
and we don't know if Luka's playing against in the first round of the playoffs.
We shall see, but it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Because if Luka doesn't play, Reeves doesn't play, LeBron's not 100%, though I thought he looked good last night. Rockets could beat the Lakers in that series. Could.
Yes.
But if those guys are all involved, no, they're not beating the Lakers. And the way I look at pretender, contender is, can they, if they can win the first round, they're a contender. They're getting beaten the first round, automatic pretender. They're not going anywhere. So I'm putting Houston in the pretender.
You're saying pretender, but they could be a contender. Is that what you're saying?
If the Lakers are that hurt, they can beat the Lakers in the first round.
All kinds of ifs and coulds. By the way, I would be if I win the lottery, I could be a millionaire. But guess what? It ain't happening. It ain't happening, folks.
You have to believe. You have to believe.
I believe it's not happening. Keep the faith. Yeah. I'll let you go first. New York Knicks, one of the teams of your youth or your youth.
Right off the bat, I say contender, but the Knicks just they disappoint every year. Started off strong. I'm going to say contender. Now, with that in mind, who are they matched up with right now in the first round?
Right now, the Knicks have the inside track on actually, I think they've locked up. There's no inside track anymore. The number 3 seed, which means right now, as we look at the playoff picture, I could pull it up on the screen, but it's going to be squinted again. They're going to take on the Toronto Raptors, who I think they'll beat. By the way, the Raptors coach, I can't even have his name in front of me, which is a bad job by me. He's done an awesome job. You look at that team. That team is not all that impressive. I know they got Scotty Barnes. I know there are some good players on that team, but there's no unbelievable star power or wattage on that team that you say, oh my gosh. I think they're now the Hawks and the Sixers. Hawks are the 5 seed, game up on the Raptors. Sixers are a game back of the Raptors. I don't think they can catch them, but yeah, I'm going to say the Knicks are a pretender. I don't like the Mike Brown move. He has not won consistently in the playoffs. I think this team is lacking more on defense than offense this year, and Cat Towns to me is the problem. He's the problem child. I think he is the one that hurts them in the big spots, big moments. I don't see them getting past the second round of the Celtics. I think Boston wants revenge for what happened last year. It was more of a fluke that the Knicks beat them. Tatum's back healthy. Knicks, to me, are a total contender. Their chemistry is a little bit iffy. I could see some big changes coming from New York in the offseason. I don't see them as a threat to get to the finals like they were last year, where they were on the verge last year, especially when they knocked out the defending champs in the Boston Celtics. Now, this one's a tricky one, Ed. You want to go first on this one or me? Cleveland Cavaliers.
Contender. I think body work, what they've done this year, shows they can compete with all the power teams. I don't know why people lately, within the last month, are saying Cleveland. No. I'd say Cleveland, yes, a contender, meaning they can win the first round. Are they number 2 in record-wise?
No. That shows you how much you're up to speed on this. They're the 4th seed. Right now they're going to play the Hawks in a 4-5 game, which means they can match up with the Pistons in the second round, which I like their draw. Last year the team that was the bad matchup for them and watched them get a top 4 pick in the draft, the Indiana Pacers. They go get a Darren Peterson of Kansas or AJ DeBonsa from BYU or even Cam Boozer at Duke, they're cooking with gas because they'll have Siakam and Halliburton back healthy, and Rick Carlisle, the UVA greats team, will be in the mix for another trip to the finals come next year. But Indiana was a bad matchup for the Cavs, plain and simple. They lost that series in 5 to them in the second round last year, didn't win a home game. But I think this Cleveland team, they have a couple of bigs. This might be the end of that experiment. They got Darius Garland and brought in James Harden, who doesn't have much playoff success whatsoever. But you have Jared Allen, you have Evan Mobley, you have Harden and Mitchell. I think the only team that's better than them in the East is Boston. And in a 7-game series, I actually think Cleveland can push Boston to 7. Might not win it, but I think they have the talent. Remember, when the Harden was on the Sixers, as much as he pained you, he got into a 7-game series with Embiid to Boston and lost it. Tatum went off in Game 7 while Harden was a no-show. But I could see the Cavaliers push the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals to 6, possibly even 7 games. And if you get to a Game 7, sometimes all bets are off. So they have enough talent. I think last year's heartbreak will have them motivated and juiced up. And I do think Kenny Atkinson wants to change the narrative on him of being a great regular season coach, not so much playoffs as he Mike Budenholzer 2.0. So I'm gonna take the bait. I've been on them for a couple years. I could be proven wrong. Let's go to the team they're going to see in the first round potentially. The Atlanta Hawks, pretender or contender? You know we love our guy Rathbun down there. CJ McCollum has injected some life. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, big-time improvement for him shooting the basketball. But I feel like they're a pretender. I think they have beaten up on some bad teams and padded the record with the schedule, helping them out after the dismissal, the trade of Trae Young to Washington. Would love to say contender, but I think they're a pretender.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go pretender real quick on this one. Normally the Hawks are verbally in the lottery every year, no question about it. Now they're in the playoff situation, but I don't see them winning the first round.
Last two, let you roll here. Los Angeles Lakers, you touched on it earlier with Luka. They're the star attraction. LeBron. J.J. Redick, the Cave Spring grad from Roanoke at the helm. Is this his swan song if they don't get out of the first round? I say yes. Time to go, J.J. Contender or pretender? Remember, last year he didn't use his bench at all. You're a big bench proponent. You love the bench. Nobody subs more than Ed Young. Nobody gets more subs than Ed Young unless you go to Subway or Zeros or whatever those sub places. But he didn't want to sub at all in Game 4 in Minnesota, and it cost them dearly as they bowed out in 5. Total pretender. Where's the inside scoring coming from? I know they have DeAndre Ayton. Where's the defense? I think this team is vastly overrated. LeBron's old. Not a contender.
If everybody's healthy, contender. If everybody's healthy. If not, no. And you might say, well, you can say about any team. Well, this team for sure is they got to have Luka. No question. He's the star of the team now. LeBron, for his age, is playing absolutely tremendous. But if you're going to rely on LeBron James right now to go all the way to championship, just him, you've got to have, and Austin Reeves needs to be there too.
You know, if the Washington Wizards had Elvin Hayes and Bobby Dandridge and
Earl the Pearl,
Unseld, Earl the Pearl, all those guys in their prime, if my Utah Jazz brought back Karl Malone and John Stockton in their prime, they'd be a contender too.
No, the Jazz proved with them too they can't win the titles.
You know, I could just shut your mic off for the rest of the show.
I mean, you do what you want to do, but
they went to a Game 6 with the Bulls and had home court, and they got screwed by Dick, a.k.a. Nick Bavetta. Pretender or contender? Don't get me on a rant because I will go for 25 minutes and you'll miss tip-off, my friend. Last one.
No, because I can get up and leave while you're doing it on your own.
I'll do it later, whether it's on the show or not, but go ahead. Denver Nuggets.
Denver's definitely a contender, and I can see them winning the NBA title.
Really? Now,
yes.
I agree they're a contender. The only thing that holds me back from saying they can win the NBA title is the defense. I think they're a little bit lax on the defense at times. But I think this team might have been better than the last couple of teams that fell short. Remember, they got bounced in 7 games by the Thunder. Second round last year, 7 games the year before, unexpectedly to the Timberwolves. This team might be headed for a 7-game rock 'em, sock 'em, knock 'em out, drag 'em, rock 'em, knock 'em down, drag 'em out slugfest with the San Antonio Spurs in round 2, which would be a great series. But I'm with you. I think they're a contender. I think Adelman's done a nice job filling the shoes of Mike Malone. They have the Joker. They have Jamal Murray. You know, Gordon's health is a big deal, but I think he can be a big X factor in a playoff series. I'm a big believer in the Denver Nuggets, Chicken McNuggets. That's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. For the coach up in Winchester at Young, I am Matthew Hatfield, and we'll talk to you next time right here on Cova Sports TV. Enjoy your sports weekend, and we'll see you later, alligators.